We closed on this deal and made $18,440 in just 39 days. This is how we did it. So this lead called us from our radio ad. And in my radio ad, I specifically say we specialize in buying inherited properties. So this was an inherited property. The house belonged to a lady who had just inherited it from her mom who recently passed away. But the person who called me was that lady's husband, all right? Now he called because he heard the ad. He heard that we specialize in affidavit of heirships, and they were currently going through that process, okay? Now they wanted to sell the house. They had no reason to keep the house. However, again, they were stuck at the AOH process. Now I explained to him how we can help there, how we can add some value and get them to the other side of this transaction to where they can actually sell it and we can buy it and they can walk away with cash. However, they had already hired and paid a paralegal, and so he didn't want to double dip. He wanted to kind of let that run its course, see how far along they could get down the line before he initiated that process with us and our company, which I completely understood. I just said a 30-day follow-up, said, hey, if it's okay with you, I'd like to check back in 30 days just to see if y'all have made any progress on that end. He agreed, and that's exactly what I did. I followed up 30 days later. He let me know they had not had any updates. They had not made any progress with the affidavit of heirship process whatsoever. And so I told him, hey, you know what? How can I speak to you and your wife? That way I can explain exactly how we can add value to this situation and be able to help you guys a lot quicker. And so he set that up on the three-way call, me, him, and his wife. I explained everything in detail, broke down the affidavit of heirship process and how often we go through these processes and help sellers get to the other side of these and how we do it with ease. Because like I said on my commercial, we specialize in buying inherited properties. Everything sounded good to the wife, and so I moved on to the next phase, all right? I asked them how much were they looking to sell the house for. She told me they wanted $300,000 or close to it. And of course, I had to ask, where did you get that number from? And to no surprise, she let me know that she came up with that number based on the Zillow Zestimate for the house. Now, when people tell me that, a light goes off in my head because it lets me know, one, they don't really know a lot about the market. Two, I can add value by giving them firsthand information, letting them know that, hey, Zillow's estimates are good if you have a fully remodeled house and can kind of give you an idea of what you can put it on the market for. But that number is an average of a lot of homes put together, and most of those homes have sold after they have been fully remodeled. So if your home has been fully remodeled, then maybe you can get that range right there. But is that the case? And of course, as I expected, that was not the case. She said the house had not been remodeled. Her mom had been living there for 20 to 30 years, did no major updates. The home was completely outdated, and there were some other major issues going on with the house. She didn't want to go into detail, but I just went ahead and scheduled a property appointment and let her know that, hey, I can give you guys a sight unseen price range of what we could possibly pay right now over the phone. But in order to dial in on that hard offer and give y'all a number that you can count on, I'm going to have to come out and see the property in its true condition. And so we went ahead and scheduled a property appointment. So I got to the property appointment, and I would rate this house about a 5 on a scale from 1 to 10, okay? It wasn't the worst house I've seen, but it wasn't nowhere near the best house that I've seen either. And a lot of that score comes from the fact that this house was in Allen, Texas, okay? For us, we've never got a deal in Allen. Most of our deals are on the southern side of Dallas, so we knew that this was a very good area for a remodel or flip opportunity, and that our buyers would be really interested in this area if we could get this locked up at a good price. The house needed a full remodel, okay? It was completely cosmetically outdated. There were noticeable plumbing issues. There were noticeable foundation issues, cracks in the ceilings, and the AC unit was not working, so they were using and depending on the window unit to cool the house down. Outside of cosmetic updates, that's 3 majors that we noticed immediately that needed to be fixed on the house. And of course, to go in line with that, the roof was in bad condition. And what I like to do when I go on property appointments is I like to point out the issues that I see, especially major issues like the plumbing, the roof, the foundation cracks, and the AC unit, because those are going to be big ticket items for any buyer who's going to repair and remodel the property. And so when I point those out along my walkthrough, it subconsciously resets the seller's expectation and brings them down away from that $300,000 that they were kind of expecting initially without me even bringing up price again. So after the walkthrough and, kind of pointing everything out and building some rapport and having some deeper understanding of what exactly the problem is that the sellers are having and how we can add more value, not just by solving the inherited and affidavit of heirship issue, but what other problems are here that we can help with. So that's information that we like to gather during the walkthrough because it gives us a little bit more leverage when it's time to talk about the price. So when we got down the price, we ended up dropping a hard offer at $181,000, which the sellers accepted on the spot. Shortly after we got that agreement executed, sent it to title to start the title search process, the seller called in a panic, letting us know that she had gotten a letter telling her that the property was about to be foreclosed on. She called the mortgage company. They would not talk to her because her name was not on the mortgage. Only her mother's name was on the mortgage. So of course, in order to get on the other side of that, we just simply had to complete the affidavit of heirship process, which we were already doing anyway. So after we completed the affidavit of heirship process, she was then able to submit those documents to the mortgage company, who put her name down as somebody who could receive information. So they let her know all the details of the foreclosure, how much the property was behind, and all of those details. And that also allowed her to order a payoff for the title company, all right? So when the title company ordered the payoff, we were able to let the mortgage company know, hey, this property is being sold and there's actually a date attached to that closing, so y'all are going to get paid in full. Therefore, we were able to stop the foreclosure process because they understood and knew for a fact that the house was about to be sold and they would get the money that they were owed. But once we were sure that we could, complete the affidavit of heirship process and get a clear title, we were able to get a buyer at $200,000, all right? So we got the seller under contract at $181,000. We found a buyer at $200,000, leaving $19,000 in the middle for us. However, we were not able to take that full $19,000 because when we locked in the buyer, we put in his assignment agreement and agreed with him that he would only be responsible for up to $2,000 in closing costs. Now, when we got down to time for closing, the closing fees actually totaled out to about $2,559. So we subtracted that $559 from our assignment fee, leaving us with $18,440 that we were able to take to the bank. So there it is, y'all, $18,440 in just 39 days from contract to close. We were able to solve all of those issues, lock in a buyer, and get everything done in just 39 days. Just a little over a month's time, and we were able to bring in another 5 figures to our company simply by being able to solve the seller's problems. Now, there's 2 key takeaways here that I do not want y'all to miss, so I'm going to break them down. 1, you want to always make sure you are talking to the decision maker when it comes to buying a property, all right? Now, when I first started the video, I let y'all know that the husband is who initially called me, but he was not an heir to the property, meaning he was not an official decision maker. Now, I'm sure he probably, can sway his wife to go one way or another, but she was the ultimate decision maker. When I initially talked to him, it ended up turning into a 30-day follow-up. When I was able to talk to her, it turned into a property appointment, which turned into an executed agreement. Always talk to the decision maker, okay? And even if they do have a spouse or a realtor or a friend or a neighbor, whoever, try to talk to everybody at once to make sure everybody is on the same page. And if they have any objections against what you are saying, then you can address them right there on the spot so there is no confusion once you get off the phone. Second, always follow up. Now, though I initially talked to the husband and that turned into a 30-day follow-up, I followed up in 30 days, okay? I followed the plan. I did exactly what I told him I was going to do. So he expected that follow-up in 30 days. And when I did do my follow-up, we were able to go to the next level, okay? So don't let stuff slip between the cracks. Make sure you are keeping track of your pipeline, setting tasks for your leads and setting follow-ups so you can be there when the time is right and when they are ready to go ahead and execute an agreement. The one take Drakes or the one call contract closes, they do happen. We call them unicorns. I done did a one call close before, right? So it can happen, but 95% of the money that we make is made through the follow-up, okay? So talk to the decision maker and make sure you follow up every time. But that's all I got for y'all today, man. If you enjoyed this deal breakdown, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Go ahead and hit that little bell so you can get notifications every time I drop gems just like this. I'm gonna always try to include at least 1 to 2 gems that you can take away from this video and implement in your own business and in the next transaction that you do if you are doing deals or if you plan on doing deals, all right? I'm just here to try to add some value to y'all. Either way, I'm gonna keep doing deals. And if you're in DFW and you're trying to do deals, or if you got a deal that you can't get across the finish line, reach out to me. All my information is in the description below. Follow me on social media, connect with me, and let's get this money, y'all. Until next time, tap in.